So today our video is focused on to the process of lactation. Lactation, which means the production of milk for and from the mammary gland for feeding the infant at the early stages of the life. Now, for the process of lactation, the development of the mammary gland is necessary. So, as we know, there is this structure, the mammary gland, which is present there, which whose anatomy, if we say, is actually has a large padding of the pectoral fat. There is a large amount of fat there, and this high amount of glandular tissues, which are nothing but the glandular tissue responsible for secretion of the milk, and all the ducts that are running through it are actually the milk ducts, which comes out through the opening called the nipple, through which the milk is exuded out at the time of lactation. So for the process of lactation, even along with it, the pectoral muscles are also somewhat helping in the entire process of the release, and thus this production of the milk takes place here, and through which the milk is being exuded out. If we can focus onto this structure, this is the like the entire anatomy of that entire structure of the milk producing glandular tissues. So we are going to find that it has a large amount of this epithelial milk secreting glands, through which these myoepithelial cells are there. These are actually the muscle cell responsible for the secretion of the milk from here, because once the milk is produced into this particular region, this is after all a glandular region, has a large amount of cavity inside. So in that particular space, when the milk is being stored, so the time the milk is exuded, that time the myoepithelial cells are responsible for the mammary gland, the lobule of the mammary gland to be squished, and so that the milk can actually run through this area, through the the entire milk duct, and can go to the nipple area, through which the baby is going to suck the milk out. Now this actually it happens so that in a single mammary gland there can be about um, like tissue, even we can say there are actually glandular tissue, we can say there are 15 to 20 lobules that can be present in each of the breasts, and they are just the lactiferous organ, as it is said, and they are controlled by a hormone called the prolactin. Now let's learn about this prolactin. So the prolactin area means the prolactin is produced by the brain, definitely. So it is going to be produced by the brain, and has actually kind of a signal that actually happened in this entire process. So what we are going to find here is that the sound of the child's cry is actually what triggers the higher center of the brain to induce the hypothalamus in releasing the prolactin, releasing factors and all. So what will happen is, once this all this particular gland actually they remain becomes active, means the higher center of the brain, they become active due to the cry of the baby. That time the anterior pituitary, they start releasing the prolactin hormone. Okay, and this prolactin hormone is actually something that induces production of the milk. But that is not all. Even at the same time, the posterior pituitary is releasing the oxytocin hormone, which are responsible for the smooth muscle contraction. If you remember, the myoepithelial cells are nothing but smooth muscles. So the myoepithelial cells are going to contract, which will release the stored milk inside the globules, because inside the lobules, sorry, because prolactin has induced the secretion of milk inside the lobules, and the smooth muscle will contract to eject the milk out. That very moment the baby is going to feed through it, because this is kind of a mechanoreceptor that is also acting at the same time, means which is right there, which has another induction to the higher center, because that also means the moment the baby tries to suck the milk out from the mammary gland, from that very moment the higher center also sends a secondary signal. So this all region actually is actually responsible for production of the milk. This is the hormonal control of the production of the milk, and this entire thing is actually what feed the baby. It happens many times in the single day. The milk, which is considered to be very nutritious for the baby's early days. So this is like the milk contains a large amount of casein, the milk protein, male milk protein. It contains a large amount of lactose, which is considered as a milk sugar. It does contain a hard amount, like quite a large amount of fat droplets also, because fat is also necessary. Water definitely will be there, and mineral salts and of different varieties that can be found, with large number of vitamins also. But the milk is actually a poor supply of iron, and also a very poor supply of the vitamin C. That's why many of a time it has been noticed that uh, sometimes, I'm not saying that every time it happens, but many of the time we find that there is actually like the baby, they suffer from a little deficiency of the vitamin C in their cases. That time some additional nutrient has to be supplied to them, but it doesn't happen so that much, because the early phases of the life, the baby can sustain that small deficit of the vitamin C that is there, because the milk is the only thing that the baby is feeding on, and the milk is not producing the necessary amount of vitamin C there. But it won't be a very big matter there, because it is like it is enough nourishing material that is being provided. Now, depending on the type of organism, it definitely varies. What explanation I've given you here is uh, about the human baby, in the case of the human, we can say. So milk is actually a very nutritious fluid. And one more thing I have to add here is, like, the very first time the baby is like, after the delivery of the baby, the mother, hearing the first cry of the child, actually has got an like, it produces the mammary gland, it produces a special kind of milk, and that milk is known as the colostrum. This colostrum actually consists of a large amount of antibodies. Milk, as you know, it is white in color, but the colostrum appears to be pale yellowish in color. And this colostrum is loaded with a very high amount of immunoglobulins or antibodies, which are going to give the protection or the early immunity to the child. And it is considered as one of the most important vaccination, even, you can say, or rather, you should not use the word vaccine here, rather immunization, we can say, for the baby, because this immunity that is being provided to the baby by the mother is actually what protects the child from the early defenses, means early kind of any kind of pathogenic attack, because the baby doesn't have any immune system at the time of the birth. So there, the baby is very much vulnerable to any kind of pathogenic attack, or any kind of attack like of some sort. But this colostrum actually protects the baby from all those kind of conditions. So that very uh, immune cells, that very immune material that the baby is being provided with, the colostrum, it is very important and very crucial for the baby's survival. And thus it is always the case that the moment the baby is born, the moment the child is delivered, uh, the baby is usually allowed to suck the milk out of the mother's breast at that particular moment, because that colostrum is necessary. If not, if some other way the baby is born, and maybe the at that very moment the child is not able to like, bring the colostrum, then the doctors have got a means of collecting it, and then it is given to the baby, because that immunity is required for every single child, and it is necessary. That's why this particular colostrum has to be taken up by the child, definitely.